Hello AOS fans, Robin here once more with another Glory Points post for you. Yes, last month I started our first look at White Dwarf's Glory Points column. We're going to try and do this every month for you. And this month is the month of May, and so this is the May 2019 White Dwarf Glory Points article review. Now, it's fair to say that Dave Sanders and the White Dwarf team aren't helping me with interesting topics to talk about. Last month's column was about deck building, which quite a lot of you already know all about anyway, and this month even more so in some ways. There's certainly less for me to discuss this month, and I have to say, if you do only want to buy White Dwarf for the Glory Points article, you probably won't be that interested in it this month. And that's not to say it's not very interesting, but it's not got any new secrets about the game. Just as a general point, I actually think this White Dwarf has really improved since I last bought it. I bought it, started buying it for a few months after they relaunched it back to a monthly affair, and I quite enjoyed it. It was sort of interesting, but my interest kind of waned more quickly off. There seemed to be a lot of information about forthcoming stuff, which you can all get from the Warhammer community website. They kind of seem to have ditched that now, and actually there's quite a lot of good things in here. There's some representation of Necromunda, Blackstone Fortress, some good battle reports, and lots and lots of things about converting the models. And possibly the most interesting thing of all that's been added is Jervis Johnson's, the sort of granddaddy of Games Workshop, if you like, his rules of engagement column, which is kind of about rules around the game and ways of playing. So that's quite, this month's article is about the summoning rules, which have gone over various iterations as the game of AOS has evolved. So the magazine itself is interesting. If you're just only interested in Nightbolt, it probably isn't that interesting to you this month, because it is about organised play and why you should go to organised games. Now, obviously, Games Workshop want to increase the amount of organised play that Nightbolt has, because, after all, they do bill it as something like the ultimate competitive game. I've heard lots of great things about the Organised C, which is really nice. Pete and I don't really have the time to take that on as well, but it's always interesting to see when people have won glass and such like, and there's just so many tournaments everywhere. But so Dave here runs through why you should play organised play, and he's given basically 4 reasons. It's easy and fun, to get better at the game, to meet new people, for the love of loot. And so then he goes through in more detail as to why you want to play, and I have to say they're quite compelling. I mean, it is fun, and I've always heard great things about how good the scene is, how enjoyable it is, how nice everybody is, how helpful everybody is. To get better at the game, absolutely. I mean, Pete and I play, I think, to a reasonable standard, but we only play each other. We haven't seen all the other tactics and tricks and things that are out there, so I think our game would improve should we get to a tournament at some point. To meet new people, well, to be honest, I don't really like people, so no. To meet new people, yeah, I mean, it's a great way. It is a great way to meet people. I think almost in some ways, for me, it will be too quick, round, and then I'll be gone back home. But it's always good to meet people who enjoy the same passions as you. So that's great. And for the love of loot, personally, I'm not remotely motivated by loot. I've never really understood the alternate art, alternate things. The Shade Glass trophy. It's just, I have so many trophies. I don't have loads of trophies. I don't find them that attractive. Don't tell anybody. And I don't know where to put it. My wife would just look at me with a very bemused expression if I suggested we put it anywhere. Well, she might have a few ideas where I could put it. So to me, I'm not motivated by loot. I know lots of people are loved. I mean, I understand the appeal of alternative art, but for me, I'm not that bothered. Some of the tokens look pretty cool. But anyway, that's me just being churlish and middle-aged. And then he goes on to talk about how to find events near you, and he talks about the Warhammer underworlds.com/organised play. I know that Jack, I think his name is, from the London group, has a website where he runs lots of competitions on there, or upcoming tournaments. I'll put a link to that in the description below to help you guys out if you're looking for a tournament or want to put your tournament on there so people can find it. So that's it, really. He doesn't say much more. It's kind of really just these kind of general tips of why you should go to events. Now, Pete and I haven't been for an event. Now, I have to say, this is not exactly an announcement. We are working towards at least getting out of our garage. So we are working towards coming to see the London scene. We're hoping to get June or July, hoping to get up to London and play some people, hopefully meet some new people and play Warhammer Underworlds with them. It'd be really good. pressures of home life at the moment are a bit intense, so we keep thinking, oh yeah, we can do it next month, and then suddenly we said at the beginning of the year we'd do it, and suddenly it's looking like we're going to be in July, so it's taken us 7 months to actually get around to it, but hopefully we'll get out, and then maybe we'll get to a Grand Clash. But I suppose I was just a little bit of sort of personal feeling of why I feel reticent about coming to a Grand Clash, and you guys hopefully say, you've no need to be reticent, and I kind of know that, and it's a little bit of an anxiety thing for me. I'm not quite sure why, but I just kind of the thought of playing that many games in a row in particular just fills me with dread. I get really tired after a couple of games we play. Now, admittedly, we do play late into the evening, and we do record everything, which adds another stress. But the thought, I enjoy playing this game for a couple of games at a time. The thought of playing, I don't know how many it is back to back. In a tournament is I find a bit daunting. Especially a Grand Clash, maybe a smaller tournament will be all right. Maybe I should start there, and then I also take a long time. People tell you he spends a long time, and that is something I do need to work on. Just for our, we will get more videos out if I took slightly less time, and that is my analysis paralysis problem. I don't know if any of you else out there have an analysis paralysis problem. I always want to make the best choice, not so much for winning. I just don't want to make a silly mistake, and I end up kind of going over things over and over again in my head till it explodes. And I couldn't do that for a number of games in a row, so I do need to work on my speed before I get to a tournament. And I suppose that really is my main reason. I'd like to meet some people to play the game, but I'm not really want to do it an organised way. I suppose I'd like to do it in an informal. If there was like an event where you could just sort of turn up and play some people and not worry about it being competitive, I'd probably enjoy that more. Maybe more likely to do it. Maybe. I don't know. It's very hard. I find it very difficult to find time to get a day away. So yeah, so I suppose I need to overcome this fear, and lots of people said, oh, you should go, you should talk about it, and I've seen lots of great reports on tournament and things, and I know everybody's really nice. I suppose I just have this kind of block about it. And it's quite good that Dave has written this kind of piece about going to events, because it has made me think, well, actually, I'm just being silly that lots of people are in the same boat as me, and you hear about these people who win glass literally by sort of turning up. Oh, I've won glass again. I don't know. I farted and a piece of shade glass came out. It just, you hear about these guys, but actually most people aren't like that. There's only one winner at every tournament, and it will be really good to come and meet guys and just enjoy playing Underworld. So we do face some time pressures. We obviously spend a lot of time on the channel. Pete works it out, and not including playing the games. He spends 16 hours a week on doing channel stuff, and that doesn't include answering all your comments, which we love doing, and it doesn't include playing the games. That's just literally the editing and the setting up and all that kind of stuff. So we do spend a lot of time doing that, which doesn't leave much time for coming out to tournaments. And obviously, if we do come out to a tournament, then maybe that'd be a time we couldn't record a video. So, and it's all, as anybody will tell you, YouTube's all about keep going with the content. So this is a little bit of content for you. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you found a little bit of an insight into my crazy brain. It was vaguely interesting. Maybe I'll see you at a tournament soon. I say Pete and I are planning on coming out into the London scene. I know obviously lots of you live all around the world and listen to us, so you probably probably won't see us in London, but hopefully we'll meet some of you out there, and we'll let you know when we're coming, and it'll be good to meet up. So until next time, enjoy your time in the Night Bolt. Enjoy, if you are going for your organised play, whether it's your first or your 200th, then have a great time this weekend or whenever your event is. Until next time, bye.